everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome the newcomers. I hope you like what you see, and if so, be part of this journey by hitting that subscription button. It's free, and hit the bell notification to be notified of the new uploads. I would just like to mention that if the video is a little bit too fast for you, up top there's 3 little buttons. You can click there, slow down the video to the speed you'd like. Also, right next to it, there's the CC letters for closed caption. You can turn that on, and you can read all the stitch that I'm calling down here. By pausing the video, take notes, will make it easier for you. Now, normally when I upload the videos, it takes about an hour for YouTube to search all my words that I'm saying, so it can appear on the closed captions. So don't panic if you don't see right away the closed captions, because the video has just been launched. It will show up in about a half an hour to an hour after the upload. I also would like to mention that if you have extra yarn, extra thread, and you'd like to help the women in need, we highly appreciate it and being very, very grateful for it. Thank you for the ones I already have helped and are still helping. If you'd like to donate, right below the video, there's a little bag of $. You can donate whatever amount you'd like. Nobody's asking for millions. Anything helps. It adds up at the end. You can also go into the description box. My PayPal account is there. You can donate through there if you'd like also. Please always give a thumbs up on the video if you like the video. It does help the video to circulate and also to be recognized worldwide. I gratefully appreciate it. Thank you so much. That's one way to help me out and to help to continue to create these beautiful pieces. Also share on your Facebook public. It costs nothing. Everything is free. There's no charge of anything. So please help out to grow the channel. I do have a Facebook group, private group. If you have a profile, you're more than welcome to request to be a member. It's free, of course, and we'll approve you. You must have a profile. Be careful with the links that you go into the groups that says cut and bit. These are fraud scammers that go through your phones, your computers, and take every information of yours. Do not open up those links. There's a lot of hackers in the groups now. That's why I made sure that my group is private. I want to thank every single one of you from the start being with me, and thank you so much for the newcomers. It costs nothing to subscribe, so please do so. Thank you so much, everybody. Everything will be listed always in the description box for every pattern that I create, the sizes, the thread that I use, which is Portugal thread. They're 100% cotton thread, 4-ply, which is similar to Aunt Lydia. Number 3, which number 3 Aunt Lydia is just a little bit thicker than my thread, not by much, but a little bit. I usually use a hook 3 or 3.5, a small one for tucking in loose ends, and a pair of scissors, of course. So thank you, everybody. Any other questions, suggestions, please feel free to comment. You can always get a hold of me if your intentions are to give some thread or yarn away. There's my email below the description box. There's my Facebook page that you can follow also, my Facebook group, my Instagram, my TikTok. So there's so many ways you can message me. Thank you so much, everybody. I hug every single one of you, and much blessings to all of you. Okay, let's get started. Okay, everyone. So today we're going to create a base. It can be for any pattern. I'm going to create this base for a runner that I'm going to work on, but I usually like to separate bases from the actual pattern because people like to use them for different reasons, different patterns. So it gives you an opportunity and ideas to create something different. Okay, but if you haven't subscribed yet, do so and hit that bell notification to be notified of the new uploads, because I will be creating the runner for this beginning motif pattern. Now, my intention, I had launched yesterday this doily. I don't know if you guys, some of you must maybe missed it, but I'll link the tutorial below on the description box. I'm going to do a runner for this doily with the same motif at the end all the way around, which will be oval. So if you're interested to create the set, then you could always go below. I'll leave the link to the doily below, and you can go there and create the placemat doilies as you'd like. Okay, the only difference is I will be using different color. So that gives you different options. Also, because I have a lot of blues and golds in my living room, I will be working with the royal blue for my runner. And of course, there's the gold and the green. These are all 4-ply 100% cotton thread. This one has a shimmery gold shine bling to it. I don't know if the camera can pick up, but it's really, really pretty. So I'm going to use a actually in this case, I'm going to use a 3.5 hook just for the base, and then I'm going to use 2.75. That's for the runner itself, because this thread is a little bit, oops, almost knocked down my camera, a little bit thicker than my royal blue. So that's why I'm going to use a thicker one and make it bigger, the centerpiece pattern motif. Okay, so normally when you want something to go bigger, you use a bigger hook. If you want something tighter and smaller, then you go with a smaller hook. Or for people that have a very tight stitch, then use a bigger hook. And people that have a very loose stitch, then you'd go with a smaller hook to tighten up your tension. Okay, of course, a pair of scissors and a small one to tuck in loose ends. Let's get started, everyone. Thank you so much. Please don't forget to give a thumbs up on the video. It's extremely important. So I'm going to start with the slip stitch knot, and I'm going to 107 chain stitch. This is for the big runner, but if you want to do a small one, you can do with 43 chain stitch. Okay, mine will be big, so for like a table of 4 chairs, let's say, you can do a 43 chain stitch. This is 106 chain stitch. Okay, I'm going to come back 1 2 3 4 on my 5th one. 1 2 3 4 on my 5th one. I'm going to do double crochets. I'm going to create groups of 3 double crochets, one per space, one chain, skip a space into the next one, and continue to create the 3 groups of 3. The 3 groups, I mean the groups of 3 double crochets. Sometimes I'm just like too focused on the recording here. I'm doing it that I get all mixed up. Okay, so one chain space again, skip a space into the next one all the way to the end. So I'll meet you when we get to the end, and then we'll proceed with the next step. Like that. Okay, you guys, so I've done my groups of 3. I have 24 groups of 3 double crochet. Now I have a little bit of string here because I overdid stitches. I didn't want to be short, and I wasn't sure how many I wanted to do because I'm doing the long version. So because I was not sure, I didn't want to be short. I'd rather be extra than short. I'm just going to cut a bit here and take a few chains down just to make sure that I'm okay. So I took in a few chains down and I'm good. Whoops. Keep banging into my lighting. Everything is tight on this desk. Okay, so I'm going to do 4 chain. 1 2 3 and 4. I'm going to come back into the first double crochet and slip stitch. So we're going to have that little loop there. 1 2 3. I'm going to try to hide my thread at the same time. We're going to create groups of 7 double crochet all the way to the edge. So So I have 3 already, which is on top of the double crochet, 1 inside of the space, and 3 more double crochets, 1 per space here. Now the next space, we're not doing a double crochet, we're going to do a 1 chain, and we're going to skip that square and go into the next one, create these 7 double crochets again. Okay, 1 inside of the space, so you always have to build groups of 7 double crochets. So I have my second group, so we're going to do a chain, skip the space, and create your groups again of 7. So that means 1 in the space here to have your total of 7. I'm going to knock this little lamp out for sure. So now I have 3 groups of 7 already. So continue all the way to the end. Okay, you guys, so I pretty much finished doing my 12 groups of 7. Okay, if you're doing the 43 chain at the beginning, the smaller version, you should have 5 groups, if I'm not mistaken, of 7. And it's always the same procedure, it doesn't matter what size you're doing. So inside of this loop, I'm going to do 8 double crochets. So I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 double crochets, and we're going to have 8 on the other end also. So we're going to continue on this side to create the groups. So I'm going on top of the double crochet. I'm on my second, my third, my fourth, my fifth, my sixth, and my 7th double crochet. That's part of the first group here, like we did here. 1 chain space, and you continue to do these 7 double crochets on this side. 1 in the center, so that's your 4th, your 5th, 6th, and 7. 1 chain space and proceed again. So all you have to do is just follow the same thing as we did on this side. Okay, and you should have your 12 groups again of 7. I'll meet you at the end. Okay, everybody, so I pretty much finished. I've cut my thread. I have my 12 groups of 7 double crochet, and now for the people that are doing, either going to do this table runner that I'm going to do or any other pattern, oval, you have to use your regular color that you were going to use. So in my case, because I'm going to do it in blue, I'm going to use my blue one. So I'm going to come to this section here where we closed off. I'm going to come on the first double crochet from the 7 group, and I'm going to do single and 1, 2, trying to hide my thread, 3. I'm going to skip a space and I'm coming into the next one. one chain space, skip a space, I'm coming into the next one. We're going to do this all the way to the edge, skip a space, let me just check here. Okay, we'll have to take it down because I missed one right at the beginning. I thought something was not right, so we have to be careful on that. We have to go right on top on the last one, and obviously I didn't. Okay, so we'll do that again. Thank God it was right at the beginning, right? Single, 1, 2, and 3. Normally for my double crochets I do, when I start a row, I do a single and 2 chain, that what you call double crochet. With one more chain is for space. So I'm going to skip this one and into the next one. Double crochet, 1 chain space, skip 1, into the next one. Skip 1, into the next one. 1 chain space, so skip the square here into the next one. We're going to do this all the way to the end by 1 chain space and skipping 1 space. So we're in the square again. Of course, we're going to skip the square and into the next space. Okay, so this is what it looks like. I'll meet you at the end. Okay, everyone. So I did 48 double crochets, 1 chain space between them, and 1 space below. I'm on my last one here, right on top, exactly as we started here, right on top of our first one from the 7 group. So I finished on my last one from the 7 group. We're going to do 1 chain space. We're going to skip the first one here, and on the second one we're going to create 2 double crochets together. 1 chain space, next space, 2 double crochets together. 1 chain space, next space, 2 double crochets together, and we're going to do exactly the same thing on the other side, on the other edge. My neighbor's dogs are going crazy. Okay, so we're creating groups of 2 with 1 chain space between them. We're supposed to have 6 groups of 2 double crochet. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We are skipping the last exactly like we did at the beginning. We skipped the first double crochet here from the 8 at the edge. So we're skipping the last one. 1 chain space, so skip that one. And right into the first double crochet from the 7 groups. And we're going to continue to do 1 chain, skip a space, exactly like we did on the other side. So you're supposed to have the same amount on this side of double crochets like we did on the other side. So all you have to do is just repeat the side the same way. Coming to the edge here, you must skip the first one of the 8 double crochets in the edge and put 2 together, 1 chain space, 2 together, exactly like we did here, and have 6 groups of 2 double crochets in here, and then skip the last one and come directly on top of the first one of the 7 double crochets like we did here. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end. Okay, you guys, so I pretty much finished doing the blue, but I didn't cut my thread because then from here I'm going to continue my runner. Now we have 6 on this side of the groups of 7. Remember the groups of 7 we done? So we have 6 on this side and we have 6 on this side. I'm going to start by one of the 6, and I've pinned my marker on the 4 corners. What do I mean by the 4 corners? The 4 squares that we have here. So it's even better for you if you did like the smaller version, then you would split it in half. And obviously you would have, it's 5 groups. You'd have 2 on this side, 2 on the other, and you'd pin the 4 corners on the center. We're going to turn this to the back, okay? Now, I've grabbed my gold that I'm going to use for this motif, and I measured about 20, let me just think here, 20, not 20 times 100 centimeters. So I have, my guy can't even think, right? So it will be, so I've folded mine in half. So I have 20 times 100 centimeters. So that would be like 2,000 centimeters of string. And we're going to work, so I'm backwards, okay, facing backwards. And this is one of the groups here of the 6 on this side, 6 on the other. And why did I do this? So we can keep going without cutting threads and having so much to deal with threads. But if you want to do it the other way and keep cutting threads, then by all means. Now there's quite a bit of string I need to pass through here. So again, I'll show you. On the center one here of the group, there's this, we're going to grab this back loop here on the middle one of the 3 double crochets we have here, right? And of course, I have a lot of string to pass through here. I don't want to pull too much on it, so I'm not going to pull it with the hook because then it's going to pull too much on the thread. If I can get this properly in without pulling so much on the thread. Okay, and I'm going to make a knot. So I'm going to pass my thread in it, and I have a lot of thread that I need to pass through it. So it's quite a bit because this is a long one. And I think I even did extra just to make sure that I don't have to like keep cutting and adding thread. So and of course the thread is folded in half. So now I've passed all my thread through it, and I'm just going to make the knot here. So this would be my first knot. I'm going to turn it to the front, and of course you cannot see it there because I only grabbed one loop here. I'm going to turn it this way, and I'm going to pull my 2 strings coming in to the side here where we have that square in the center, and pull everything right towards me. Now it does take a little bit of work, but you'll see the end result, how gorgeous it is. I'm pulling it through here like that. Okay, so now we're also going to use these ones here, okay, just to let you know. Okay, so now I'm going to pull the thread going over the double crochets here, and I'm going to come in on the square here, pull it through the center here, and pull the thread coming out to this side here. So again, I have to be careful and pull everything through it gently so it does not pull on the pattern. Just gonna hold it there. Okay, so now it came out on this side here. Now make sure that it's loose enough. We don't want to pull on the pattern here. Okay, now we're gonna throw it again. This always has to go to the center, so I'm gonna go here, and now I'm coming in to my blue one here, which is still in the same direction as the squares there. Okay, so I'm going to come in my blue one, and I'm going to pull this thread right behind it and bring it out. Now, of course, it gets stuck a bit, which is normal because, you know, it's in between all of these ones here. Just got to make sure that you're pulling on the right ones. I'm just moving this one here so it doesn't get in the way. And again, we want to give it a little bit of loosage. We don't want it to be too tight. Okay, and again, we're going to go into the center. So now we're coming into the next blue here. So it's just repeating now. Gotta make sure you grab both. Pull it through. I have a knot on my thread. How beautiful, isn't it? So basically we're just going in through the holes now. And remembering you always have to go to the center of your pattern. Okay, then back into the center again. And you're going to come and pull it through again into this side now. So you're going to go all the way to here, and then I'll come back to you here. So always going to the center and pull it out through the squares. Always into the center and pull it out through the squares. Okay, I'll meet you here on the next one. Okay, you guys, so I've put it in to my corner one here where I have my marker, which we don't need it. It's just basically to show you. So you're supposed to have 5 on this edge here, and then you'll have 5 here and 5 there and 5 here. So we have the corner one, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we have the 5. Again, we're going to come in from the next one and bring it over. So it's just a repeat all the way around the same way, always going into the center. Always from the back in, and then again. I mean, not from the back, from the top, sorry. and bring it in. Over. And then just continue on all the way around. So it's always just a repeat. You know that you always have to go to the center. And then I'll meet you when we get there. And just to show you again, so I got to roll over. So I'm coming in actually from the bottom and pull it up again. Okay. Okay, you guys. So I've done one. You can do two, and I pass my string to the back. You can do two ways. You can do one at a time if you don't want to have all that string to carry on. So I've passed my string to the back, and I'm going to cut here. Or you can do the other way, which you just, I'm going to leave it a little bit longer here so I can tie in. Just going to pass it so I can, and then I'm going to use the transparent glue to make sure that nothing comes apart. Okay. We wouldn't want any of these motifs to, should have left a little bit longer so I can make my official knot, but no problem because I'm going to glue it. Okay. So I'm going to make a knot here. And I'm just going to pass through some of them here because I'm going to glue this afterwards just to make sure that nothing comes apart. Then I'm going to put hot gun glue on it, just a little dip, just to make sure that everything's okay. So you can do it this way, or you can just continue on with your motif like I'm going to do. So we're going to proceed the same way as we just did. And turn to the back. And we're going to come and tie it. On the middle one, as we just did that first one. In one of the loops, you want to be careful with it because you don't want it to pull through so much. Oops, did the wrong one. I have to grab the other edge. Well, I sure did have a knot there on my thread. Okay, so we're back to the same thing as we did. And I've cut my thread a little bit shorter just to make it easier to show you guys because it's a lot of pulling thread. So we make that knot exactly like we did. We're going to turn to the front. We're going to pull the thread to the front, both threads obviously. It will make it easier if the thread is shorter, right? we're going to pull it to the front here. I mean to the back, as we did. So we are going to come into the next one here, bring it over. We always have to go to the front, remember that. I think I need to pull my camera here before I knock my lamp down, because I keep going over to the other side. So into the middle again. So we need to pull the thread. We need to pull it into the corner here, obviously. Back into the middle, into the next one here. So we're going to bring it into the middle. And, you know, I think it will make it easier if we just pull it into the next one. Into the middle, and again. Now, like I said, you can do each one at a time, or you can not cut the thread and go through completely. So we'll do half going up and then half coming down. So I'm going to come through here again. I want to make sure that it's not pulling too much. Bring to the center. I'm going to come into the corner. Got to grab both threads because that wouldn't be a good idea, right? Okay, loosen it up a bit. And come through the next one. So we're basically working on the square spots, right? Gotta get both threads out, not just one. And back into the middle here. Now here's where we can continue on going. So bring your thread out into the middle one the same way as we start. Okay, so basically we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we come right across into the next one here. So we're doing one side and then do the other. Now you understand what I mean, instead of doing like one at a time, which was a good thing to show you because sometimes, you know, some people have a hard time with so much threads. And then you'd come and repeat the same thing again. So you'd come through this, always working on the spaces. Of course, I'm not grabbing the proper one. into the center, into the corner one. We cannot miss this corner one here. I gotta grab all threads, not just one. Into the center. So basically, you know, you have two of them in the same space, right? And then you just proceed the same way until you meet in the middle. And make sure I'm pulling the right ones. Into the middle and into the next one. Until we get to the middle one here, and then we proceed again to the next one, and that's how it's going to be done. Okay, so we're doing halves, and then on the way back we complete again the other half. So I'm just going to continue here and then show you again. So I'm in the middle here again, so we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, and then you cross over to the next one again. Okay, so basically you'd come by here, and bring it out again. That's why we needed that much thread, you know. Now it makes sense, I hope. Bring it over always to the center when you pull into the next one. And it gets easier as you're doing it. The first ones, it's always the hardest ones, and then you get a grip of it and it's pretty much easier. Of course, it's harder when there's a lot of thread on there, you know, but you're in control. It's a little bit of work, but it's a beautiful motif. This is not my creation, by the way. It's one of my friends' YouTubers that got it from another friend of hers, and she passed it on to me, and I think it's just gorgeous. Okay, so then we just continue on till we get here, and I'll meet you there. Okay, everyone, so I'm near the edge. Can be very simple, not complicated at all. Try to get a little bit more lighting here. So I'm going to come in, put my thread this way. We're going to come in right on the space where we skipped that one double crochet when we did the 8. Do you remember? We did the 8, and when we skipped the groups, we skipped the first one here. So I'm going to come in between it. So we're right here, actually the first one, right? I'm going to come in, I'm going to grab my thread, and pull through. and then go into it, and we're going to come in the center where we have that big space where we did the 8 chains, remember? So I'm going to come in and pull my thread through. So very simple, nothing to it, and we'll have to do the other side the same thing. Again, we are right here on the first where the that one double crochet that we did. Okay, so we have the 3 there, so we're going to come in the space just right before it. It's when you pull on it too much, it starts to twist. Just fix it here a bit so it doesn't get all knotted up. And go back in. And we're coming in the first space here and pulling it through. Of course, we have to pull through both, right? Is that our first space? No, our first space is here behind. On that, I'll show you in a second. We don't want to make any mistakes or we'll have to take it down. So we have that between the group and that one double crochet. Okay, so we're pretty good so far, and we just continue until we do the exact same thing on this side. Of course, I have to pull both strings. This is the tricky part, which I should have been using like a thicker one, thicker hook for this, right? Into the next one. And you just keep going until the end. So now I'm coming into my regular square. We're back into the squares. And you just go over to the next one and continue through. Okay, and then you just continue this whole side, and I'll meet you at the end. Okay, you guys, I just want to remind you that don't forget when you're here and coming back in, you still have to come out here in order to do the same thing like we were doing on the other side, to cross your thread over, okay, into the center. Just make sure that, probably forgot to mention it, but still in time. Okay, so you'd be coming on the last one. Gotta get them straight, so I don't want them bent. Need to have them straight on here. So sometimes you have to do it a few times because it moves out of place, right? Okay, so we're coming into that one. We must come back in to come into the center, the same one here again, okay? Because we need to cross over to the other side. Like that, okay? So we need to cross over. So that's why you have to come out on the same one there. But look how gorgeous that's looking, right? So I will have it, once, of course, you just have to continue, repeat the same thing here as on here, and then cut your thread, tuck it in. So very simple. I will continue mine, and then I'll have some pictures on display. Now, if you want to follow through for the tutorial of the table runner, then I hope you are subscribed and you do have the bell notification to be notified when I do upload it, okay? So, and I made a mistake here in this, look, made a mistake here, and it's good I just saw that. So I will have to come back to my thread, take it out, can't skip any, it's very important. I'll have to come back to it. So when you see that you're missing a spot, you will have an empty space, right? Can't have that. So it's a good thing that I just looked before I went further, or else I'd have a lot of undoing to do, right? And like I said, so I'll have a few pictures at the end when I am done. And stay tuned for the table runner. Thank you so much, everybody. Till next time, okay? So I'll have the pictures at the end.